Zach Grant.
What was the sprint like in this portal window? They keep changing it, adjusting it, moving dates. Was it different? Do you just learn how to adjust now?
Yeah, it's been different pretty much every year and every cycle to this point. This was extremely unique in its own right because, it opened on the 2nd as we were playing a bowl game. The 3rd was the first time we had anyone on campus, and in about whatever it was, 9 to 10 days or so, we had 22 kids signed. So it was definitely a rush. A lot of quick decisions had to be made, obviously, in a short amount of time, but we're fortunate here at Cincinnati with the incredible operational alignment, how I would refer to it, from the president of the university down. We have to get involved with admissions, academics, our legal team with Lori Ross. It's a full deal to get even one player in, never mind 22 in a 10-day span. So it's a real testament to the way it's been set up from John Cunningham.
I asked Coach this, but give me the Zach Grant pre-Bruce Feldman freak list of this year.
That's a good question. We actually just went over a lot of these testing numbers earlier this morning with the strength staff. Jeff Caldwell's the most athletic receiver in the history of football based on the combine, so I don't know if we'll quite get that. But, I'll say this about the whole group. It's incredibly deep and talented. I don't know if, last year we had a couple guys stand out from the rest as outliers. The middle 75th percentile has been raised significantly, and rather than point anyone out, I think it's just an incredibly competitive spring with a lot of really good big athletes, but several are in contention for that.
Is there conversation to never have a bowl game on the opening day of the portal anymore? Because it seems like that probably put you guys at a pretty big disadvantage.
Well, no conversations I've been a part of. Obviously, you're going to select the best bowl game that we're selected for and go to it. So, however people decide that, I'm not a part of it. But we made it work this year, and all in all, very pleased with everyone we brought in. So.
Zach, what are the priorities in terms of what you're looking for? Obviously, you're looking for talent, skills, the measurables. But what about intangibles in your process in bringing kids here?
Yeah, of course. We have 4 main criteria at all positions: length, growth potential, explosiveness, and the 4th one's football character. And that's a really big thing for the program and, obviously for Coach Satterfield. We're going to screen every player before it gets to his plate and his list of guys he's watching. But when it gets there, football character gets really important, and he wants to see people play through the echo of the whistle. And when I say football character, I mean between the white lines, how hard are you playing consistently? How much do you love football? Can we see that on tape? Do you exude it based on the way you play? And the guys that do love football, they typically, rise above the rest. It's a long off season. We're around our players every single day, and there's 8 months where they're not playing and everything's getting critiqued. So if you just like it, you'll get exposed pretty quickly. So, loving the game of football and therefore striving to become the best version of yourself is a critical factor for us.
And if I could follow up, you mentioned being on alignment with the athletic department, obviously the administration. The situation with Brendan Sorsby, how important was it that everybody was in alignment in moving forward and addressing that situation and how you see it?
Yeah, I respect the question. It's a nuanced situation, but I'll just refer to John Cunningham and the university statement for anything regarding that.
Right, with the portal is a moving target, of course, and you guys got 3 big commitments on the line. How much easier did it allow you to attack the portal to get the spots that might have been lacking at?
Yeah, you're talking about the line of scrimmage on defense?
Yes, offense.
The returners.
Yeah, returners.
Yeah. And honestly, in this day and age, if there's ever a position that you don't have to worry about in the portal, and we felt comfortable coming out of early December with the retention at offensive line and tight end as well, but it made it a heck of a lot easier. The bigger you are and the better you are in football, the harder it is to get you in the portal. So you're in a scarce market to go get O-linemen, and we were very fortunate to have, Taryn and Joe and Evan come back, and, we think they're going to be the heartbeat of the team, as well as other guys that are going to step up at the O-line. If we had nobody else, we would have gone and got someone in the portal, but we feel really good about the guys coming back and their ability to step up.
You obviously have a lot of connections at Notre Dame. Jabron has connections here. What did you see on film from him? Because 2023, I think he had more third down snaps than Audric Estime, and then Hurd buried behind two NFL quality running backs. So what did you see on film?
Yeah, the first thing I saw was, as a young player in a really good program, he was getting snaps in critical moments, like against Ohio State in their game in 23. Just following both of those programs, having been there, I remember seeing that and knowing he was a Cincinnati kid. And his career obviously got a little bit derailed from injury. But then once we talked to him, the type of person he was, it kind of stood out. And guys' trajectories are different, right? Like, there's less exposure to tape we're able to watch with him, but the tape was really good. And then guys we talked to in the program at Notre Dame, it was like one of those deals where the coaches wanted to play him because he did everything right. Pass pro, catching the football, hitting the right lane, good vision, all that. So everything that you may not see on tape too from a character standpoint was an A+. So all that kind of makes the decision easy. And then it's icing on the cake in terms of him being from Cincinnati. And that makes it, a little easier to get him. And so, yeah, he exactly what we hoped he would be so far in winter conditioning, he has been.
And JC French, new quarterback, what did you see on film that said, hey, we need to target this guy, this is who we need to build our offense around?
Yeah, we watch as many quarterbacks as we possibly can throughout the whole season. And, JC was a guy that we had kind of kept tabs on. I got connections to the Georgia Southern program. I've watched a ton of their games, and for one, the arm talent stood out. Felt like he could make every throw on the field. I think he's a plus athlete. And then, his quick decision making, I felt like, especially in their big games, like when he's playing App State or Georgia State, their rivalry games, he stood out. And then once he got in the portal, I was able to talk to Clay Helton and Ryan Applin and Brian Ellis about, what he was around the program and his learning aptitude and how they thought he might fit in our scheme, and everything kind of checked out. And we had to do that in like a very quick time process there in early January. But obviously it helped in that case to have those connections.
Zion got some late run in the season. Tell me about these new running backs that are going to be pushing him.
Yeah, we've been incredibly impressed with Zion. I think he's taken the next step so far in winter, and he's had one of the best winters of anyone on the team. Zylan Perry will obviously, push him. He's a big back that can really run. In 23, he was an All-American kick returner. Coach Pascal was there as a special teams coordinator with him. Obviously, we talked about Jabron Payne. He brings a full skill set to the running back position. Ability to run hard inside the tackles. He's got good size as well, but also really good vision and lateral ability. And then Cole Tabbs, a kid that, coming from Stanford, played as a young player, as a redshirt freshman. I remember watching him early in the season, expecting him to probably play and get more production than he did. I think he'll play behind a better O-line here. But he was a sub 1100 meter guy in high school. He was high school teammates with Isaiah Johnson, a wide out for us. So, that helped in getting him. And I think Cole has risen, the performance in the offseason of Isaiah as well. So we have a really good running back room of those four core guys, and I think they complement each other well. Last year, we had really one running back that was over 200 pounds to bring the physical aspect of the game, and all three of those guys we signed were all over 200 pounds, and they ran over 21 miles an hour so far in winter conditioning.
How different is the quarterback position in the portal? And does it feel like if you don't get something done, in the first 3-4 days, that like you're swimming upstream?
Yeah, it's a unique deal with the quarterback position, just in terms of you're kind of playing musical chairs a little bit. And on the one hand, there's a sense of not getting left out in that game of musical chairs, and the other is, do you want to risk it and maybe a guy falls to you? You know, that what it would be nice to say we could learn from this to next year and how we did it, but the problem is it's going to change again next year, and we'll just have to adjust on the fly there. But you know, I thought Coach Thomas did an incredible job of, you know, in a really short amount of time, assessing the board, having plan A, plan B, and kind of, you know, executing the plan that we had. And we got a really good player that, since he's been in the program, has only, you know, impressed us even more, you know, with his mental aptitude.
Gibson and Fenner stand out as new receivers and all that. The one I'm intrigued by is the Colorado School of Mines guy. Is it Flynn Sheely?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Flynn, yeah.
Is he just, it sounds like a heck of a story if he can play at all.
Yeah, I mean, we believe he can play for sure. Currently, so he's coming off an ACL injury. He was, you know, it was 2 years in a row there. Colorado School of Mines was producing big time, and this past season he tore his ACL. You know, as you guys know, we're not afraid to go into the lower levels. I think we signed 22 portal guys, and 19 of them are Group of 5 FCS or D2. For us, it's the traits of his athleticism and the critical factors that we look for. Of course, we're going to have him outperform competition by another degree if it's in Division II, but we're really excited about him. And, you know, you get around him too, and he's a great human being, extremely intellectual, knows what he's talking about. He's attacked his rehab like, you know, we have the best trainer in the country, I think, in Aaron Himmler. Flynn's one of the guys that would just research it all and try to do it himself if he could, you know what I mean? But he brings a big play aspect on the outside. You know, we saw his speed stand out, especially for a longer player, to attack the deep parts of the field.
Any other questions? Thanks. Thank you all.
Appreciate you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.